Hello, everyone, and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host, Logan Landers, and today we're doing a 2022 NFC South Division Preview. So, if you enjoy the video or the stuff of the podcast, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We go live each and every single week on Facebook and YouTube. You can find clips for show on Instagram at 100 Football and our LinkedIn page, which you can use to find a link to our podcast, which is available every single day. Awesome episodes. We're doing game previews. We did a lot of team previews, all the NFL teams, a good bit of college teams as well. Amazing legend interviews with some of the game's greatest players, and some of the most in-depth draft analysis with former NFL draft scout Daniel Kelly and our guy, Mr. Football Vince Turner. You won't find anywhere else. So go over there, check us out, and be sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss a single episode. Like I said, this is the NFC South Division Preview. I can't do it by myself. It's Monday. Y'all know what that means. It is a Madman Mancini Monday. Welcome once again, my co-host, Madman Mark Mancini. How you doing today, sir?
I love you, brother. On a Labor Day, we're all relaxing. We kick up the barbecues. We get the smokies out. We get everything. The beach is looking good. It's a hot like hell out here in Los Angeles. But man, oh man, I love doing this, and I wouldn't miss this one for the world.
Hey, it must be nice out there in Los Angeles, man. Here in Georgia, it's supposed to be nice, but we've been getting a little bit of rain lately, so most of the festivities, the barbecues, might have to get postponed till this weekend. But hey, NCAA came back this past weekend. The NFL is getting ready to kick off this week, and we're breaking down the NFC South, man. Let's get into it. Let's talk about these guys. I call them the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, rightfully so. But let's talk about Tampa Bay with Brady and all those great players, man. What do you think about Tampa Bay? How are they going to do this year?
Well, the only thing that can stop Tampa Bay would be Giselle. And we know how that thing shook down, here with her. He was going to retire, then he unretired. She didn't like it. Now she's back to that full-time position of watching the kids. But if I'm Tom Brady, I say, honey, just hold the fort down. This is my last year. I'm going to hang it up, but we're going to go out with a bang. Tampa's going to be awfully tough to beat, man. They got the horses. They got the running game going, and they are all in. They have pushed their chips to the center of the table in the NFC.
Yeah, they really have. The only kind of, big change they got Todd Bowles now as the head coach. We'll see how he can do there. We know he's a really big defensive guy. He did great for them over the past couple of seasons. And it's Tom Brady, man. You can't ever count him out. He's won numerous championships, thousands of games, it feels like, set hundreds of records. I mean, there's a reason that everyone loves to talk about him because he's done so much. And they have a great team. I mean, it's pretty much the same as last year. They didn't add a whole lot of new players, pretty much kept the same nucleus together. Godwin, Evans, of course, over there. It was Tom Brady. He was out for, 2 or 3 weeks. And then everyone's like, oh, what are they going to do now? Are they going to rebuild? And then he came back. So nothing to worry about there. And the defense is still looking pretty good, even though, like I said, they've lost a few guys. You still got Devin White, Carlton Davis, and a lot of other guys, Hakeem Nicks, Vita Vea. The list goes on and on. They're going to be a good team, I think, this year, and definitely a force to be reckoned with. But we just talked about Tampa, man. Let's keep it down here in the South, and let's go even further. Let's go to Atlanta with the Atlanta Falcons, man. This is a team who actually kind of surprised a few people last year. It was a rebuilding year, won a handful of games. But how do you think they're going to shake out this year under, a brand new quarterback and whatnot?
Well, I like Mariota down there. I miss Ryan. I'm sure Dixie misses Ryan too. It's an interesting team, but, the division's an interesting division when you look at Tampa going to win this outright. And then we're flip-flopping 3 or other teams in this division. But I think Atlanta is going to surprise people. I really do. I think usually when everybody's against you and, you're trying to right the ship, there's only one way to go but up. And I think the Falcons have struggled since the Super Bowl run of a few years ago. But this is a team, they're bringing back the Dirty Bird. Let's go. They can, change the foundation there. And I think they will. And I think they're going to be second place in this division.
Yeah, this is definitely a team to look out for, I think. And there's a lot of people, obviously it was sad when Matt Ryan left. But I think we all knew the writing was kind of on the wall whenever they got Arthur Smith. And their team just kind of blew up. But I mean, this is a team who last year, it's not like they were down in the mud. They still willed their way to a good amount of wins all in all. Cordero Patterson had a tremendous season. It's going to hurt, them not having Calvin Ridley this year. But you have Kyle Pitts, who was electric. I think he's going to get an even better role this year. Mariota's looked really good in the preseason. He's looked like that vet that they need, and plus he can scramble, which is something that Matt Ryan hasn't done in really ever since he came into the league. So that's a nice look there. I am still worried, though, about this defense because I think the offense is going to be fine with Drake London, Pitts, and company. But this defense I'm still worried about. They were dead last in the league last year in sacks. They just couldn't really do much this offseason. Not too many people wanted to come to Atlanta. And I think it's going to be a rough defensive year for them, outside of course, A.J. Terrell, who's a great lockdown corner. But I think the Falcons still have a good bit of optimism. I don't think they're going to be top of the league, but I don't think they're going to be at the bottom either. I still think they're in that middle section of the rebuild, which is what you like to see because you still have some good pieces you can work with, but you're not completely down the dumps and just acquiring draft picks left and right.
Well, not only that, I think when you look at the Falcons, they're in good shape, as far as moving forward. This is a team, the second game of the year, they come out to play the Rams. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they, compete with the Rams and beat them because, like I said before, when not many people are thinking you're going to do something, you just got to circle the wagons and move forward. And I think Atlanta's one of those teams that I'm not saying they can become the Cincinnati Bengals of last year, but they could, move in that direction in more ways than one.
Yeah, I think they definitely do have the potential to surprise some people because, like I said, Arthur Smith willed this team to a good bit of wins last year when no one thought they were going to be that good. So we'll see if he can recreate magic and make them even better. But let's go to a team who has improved quite a lot with the New Orleans Saints. Who dat? What you like about the Saints this year, Mark?
Well, the Saints are an interesting team. I mean, they've had problems off the field. Sean Payton's retired there. You got Winston now. I don't know what Winston had a great year when he was in Tampa, that one game against the Rams where he threw over 500 yards. I don't know what you're going to get with Jameis Winston here. Nobody knows what you're going to get with Jameis Winston. That defense can hit. We'll tell you this. The Saints, when they play the Buccaneers, they can give them a run for their money. They seem to own the Bucs or at least keep it close with the Bucs. So that's been Brady's nemesis there. But as far as the Saints go, I think they're going to retread backwards in more ways than one. I don't know what you think, but I'm not counting the Saints to do a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I think this team, like you said, new coach Dennis Allen. Obviously Drew Brees is gone. Here comes Jameis Winston, who I always like to call the wild card because, like you said, you never know what to expect. He could go and throw off for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns, but then the next week he can give you 6 interceptions and 200 yards. There's not enough consistency. And maybe, like I said, he hasn't played as a starting role in a little bit, so maybe he's had time to develop. He had that injury last year, but we'll see how he can do as a full-time starter. Michael Thomas is coming back after a lot of the time off, man. A lot of people forgot how dynamic he's been. I think that's really going to help out their offense. Kamara, it looks like he's going to be starting this year. It looks like they're still kind of up in the air about, like you mentioned, his off-the-field issues, but at the moment, it looks like he's still ready to go for the year. Picked up Jarvis Landry, which is a nice acquisition. And that defense, man, the defense is going to be pretty good, I think. Of course, Cam Jordan, who is a great defensive player. Davenport right there. They got the Honey Badger. And like I said, Marcus May, we don't know what's going to happen with him either. Like I said, some other off-the-field issues. But a lot, you get P.J. Williams in there too. But I think this team, it's got some good potential to it. There's a lot of good pieces. I think the defense is going to be okay. I think the offense is going to have a pretty good, nice step up as long as Jameis can, for the love of God, just limit the turnovers. I think they'll be all right. But I think that New Orleans has a lot to work with this year, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they win out this division if they do pretty good.
Well, in the last few years, we've seen what they've lost, Drew Brees and Sean Payton. That's big components to lose on a team. And, they were there every year right in the mix of things. This is a transition year for this team. We're going to find out, do they slip more further back? And, is it going to be, back to the paper bags there in the Superdome? Or is this a team that's going to start to challenge? I don't think so. I think we're going to get back to the years where the bags started to come out. So I don't have much emphasis to the Saints moving forward. It's a good team, but you know what? I'm looking down the line here, and 2-3 years down the line, I don't see the Saints doing something.
We'll see how they can do this upcoming year. And let's get to the final team here, Mark. the Carolina Panthers with Coach Matt Rule, of course, and now Baker Mayfield. How are they going to fare this upcoming year? You got them doing anything good or not so well?
Well, we'll find out what McCaffrey can do here. That's the big key. He's an injury-prone guy. They can keep him upright. I love Baker Mayfield. I love Darnold there. Those two quarterbacks can spell each other. And, when you look at Carolina, they got two adequate first, starters there, 1A and 1B there. So, Darnold didn't get a fair shake in New York. Mayfield didn't get a fair shake in Cleveland. But I like the offense. It's going to, the people are going to be out there on Rule because, he hasn't really made a move here. Maybe you can blame it on the injury factor, but I'll tell you one thing. This team has got an offense. They got to tighten up that defense. Carolina is going to be a surprise.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I think people forget that Carolina came out the gates hot last year. I think they were 4-0, 5-0. And then all kind of went downhill, but they started off really strong. And like you mentioned, they picked up Baker Mayfield, who's going to be on a mission this upcoming year to prove everyone wrong. You mentioned Darnold. If something ever happens, he's right there in the backfield to help out. They got a good receiving core, DJ Moore, Anderson, Marshall. They're looking solid there. I mean, of course, they're first-round talent. Ekwonu on the O-line helping them out. I think that's going to be a good one. But just like you said, with fans of football, fantasy football owners, what's Christian McCaffrey going to do? Is he going to be healthy? Because that is the big question. We haven't seen him play much at all in recent seasons. And when he's healthy, man, he is one of the more dynamic players in the league, not just in this division. And as for the defense, go ahead.
No, I said the mainstay from Stanford, and you're right. It's hard to keep him upright. And I think Carolina has to take it easy on him. Don't wear him into the ground. If you got some blowout wins there, start resting this guy because you're going to have to limit his mobility and don't waste his talent if you want to go through the whole year with him upright. Right.
And I'm with you there. I think that you got to not coddle him, not rest him every single time, but he's getting older. He is, and those bones aren't getting much stronger. And we just all hope, man, he can get at least a fully healthy season or mostly because it sucks always watching him do his thing. And then, 5 games into the year, he's down for the rest of it. It's just, you hate to see it. And I hope he has a great bounce back year. And as for the defense, I'm with you. They've got some good pieces. They really do. They've just got to get it going. I like J.C. Horn. They drafted the other year. Henderson's good. They got Xavier Woods. I mean, Brian Burns as well. He's looking good. So they've got a pretty decent team. I don't think they're going to be like bottom feeders getting 2 or 3 wins. I think they're going to fight for a pretty decent spot, and I'm not expecting them to win this division, but I'm not expecting them to be pushovers by any means necessary either.
Well, and not only that, now with the quarterback position set with Mayfield that has that swagger, Darnell that has something to prove again, they haven't been this good at that quarterback position since Cam Newton was there. Mm-hmm. And we've seen a list of guys come through there, Burline and guys like that. So I think that's very, very important that when you have one guy goes down with an injury, God forbid, you got that other guy that can step right in. And that takes time. We've seen backups in other cities that if the starter goes down, the backup comes in and he hasn't even touched the football. And then that team goes down a slippery slope. But Carolina's got that one thing in their favor with these 2 quarterbacks manning that position, that they're going to be in good shape. That if one goes down, they can still, get in a position where they're not going to lose a step.
Yeah, I mean, that really is a great weapon to have because, I mean, that's a great point is, say that Matthew Stafford, will just say, for instance, if he goes down, he's got those lingering elbow issues. I mean, I can't tell you who the backup is for the Rams. And, I mean, that's a Super Bowl defending
it's
champ.
Bryce Perkins. And, Stafford's putting on that front out here in Los Angeles saying, everything's going good and everything. I'm telling you right now, Logan, I think Buffalo is going to smash these guys. I really do. I think they're going to set a precedent with the NFL that we're here and we're coming. Keep your eyes on it. No, I don't want to get ahead of myself with the AFC East next week predicting, but keep your eyes on these Bills, man.
Yeah, and that's going to be a good game. Also, if you want to check out the preview for that, with me and my man Jeremiah Long did a game preview on that on the channel. You can check out right now. Shameless plug. But, hey, Mark, give us your final thoughts on this division, man. Your final thoughts, your standings. Who you got winning it, man? What you got?
Well, I got Tampa. I don't think anybody's going to take out Tampa. I think they got a lot to prove. They're all in, and everybody's going to buy into whatever Tom Brady's selling. So, I think that's the key there. I like Atlanta to come in second. I really do. I think Atlanta could be surprising, what they've done there and get past the Matt Ryan thing. That was a big loss, having him go to Indianapolis. I think New Orleans is going to tread water, and Carolina's just not there yet, even though they got the two quarterbacks. I don't see a lot with Carolina, so that's how I'm shaking it. Tampa, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Carolina.
Not too bad at all. I got slightly different. I got Tampa number 1. Obviously, I think they're the clear-cut favorites. I've got New Orleans number 2. I think they made a good bit of acquisitions. I think James is going to have a better year. I've got Atlanta at 3, but not by much. Maybe a game or two. I think they're going to give them some fits, especially that Week 1 matchup, man. That's going to be a fun one to watch. And I got Carolina at number 4. I just don't think they have all the pieces there quite yet. But also, I don't think they're going to be a bad team. I could see them maybe getting 6-7 wins. Maybe a little bit more if they keep overachieving. I think they've got a good foundation, but they're just not there quite yet. They still need a few more pieces to get over the hump in this division. Well, hey, thank you so much once again for my co-host, my main man, Mr. Madman Mark Mancini, coming on the show once again, talking some football, getting you geared up for the upcoming NFL season. I've been your host today, Logan Landers. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't done so already, please go over and check out our podcast every single day. You can check it out Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast listening device. Like I said, we go live pretty much each and every single day. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. We have over thousands of episodes, and there's always going to be something in there for your favorite team, player, coach. And if we haven't covered it, the best thing you can do is drop a comment. Let us know you want us to cover a certain player, team, coach, whatever, and we will put it into our upcoming schedule. Once again, thank you once again to my co-host, Madman Mark Mancini. I've been your host, Logan Landers. Have a great Labor Day, everyone. Have a great week, and we will talk to you again on